Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. It's lovely to see you all. Wonderful. I guess the audience is, we have students, we have leaders, we have teachers, we have entrepreneurs. The IIU is the one organizing this program. And today we want to talk about soft skills for 21st century entrepreneurship. But then I would like to introduce IIU to you. IIU International Internship University is a living virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. So, such a wonderful opportunity. In a short span of time, International Internship University has spread its wing in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary leader. Sir Mr. Peyush Pandit is a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. Thank you. Now we come back to our topic. My name is Joel Olaniyan. I am an education administrator and consultant with educator mindset. And I consult for schools, I do trainings, I run programs, I coach leaders, I mentor students and adults as well. Today, we want to talk about soft skills for 21st century entrepreneurship. As we know that soft skills has become a big deal in the world of work, in the world space. Soft skills is a big deal, and we're going to learn what these soft skills are, how do we harness them, and also consider entrepreneurship and where do they blend, where do they meet, and what is the benefit that this could bring to a student, a career person, or a business person. First of all, do you know the qualities necessary to confer of an entrepreneurship? Say a business tycoon believe it is not enough to have good knowledge of the market. When I say market, market could be here for you, a student. Your marketplace could be your school. Your marketplace is where you work, or if you're a trader, where you do business. That's your marketplace. To have overdeveloped your talents to succeed, have you tried to look at the talents that you have? Have you done a self-identification? Have you done a self-awareness test to know the qualities that you have? Because it has to start from there. It requires more here, you see, and they are exhaustive. A list of little more to become an outstanding entrepreneur of the future of our country, of our world. Then let's look at these 2 things. I would like to put hard skills and soft skills together so that you can look at it and see the difference. Hard skills, they are teachable skills, of course, can be defined and measured. You see, hard skills are things that we do if you're a student doing science, doing maths, things that are a bit natural. Those are the things that we call hard skills. All right. My slide is going faster. All right. So examples of hard skills developed in high school include math, science, I've said that, reading, use of technology. These skills also include job skills like typing, welding, and nursing. So as a student, if you are in school, as you are learning your subject, you could also be doing some other things like typing. This as form of art, but that's not what we are talking about today. What we are talking about today is soft skills. And soft skills are personality-driven skills like etiquette, getting along with others, listening, and engaging in small talk. How smart are you to be able to engage your audience, to be able to engage the other person? How do you converse with your friends? How do you converse with your teammates? You employ soft skills to be able to do that. Of course, hard skills and soft skills are equally important in preparing for college and career. This is also good for business development. Let's look at some of the soft skills that we have for success. Strong work ethic. As a young entrepreneur, we're going to define entrepreneurship very soon, but let's look at what soft skills are and what entrepreneurship is all about. That's what we're going to use to conclude our presentation for today. So for soft skills, for you to have success using soft skill, you must have strong work ethic. How do you go about your work? Are you someone who concentrates? Are you the one who want to do things perfectly? Have excellence as a value. You have strong work ethic. Whatever you do, you want to make sure it turns out well. That is one of the success criteria for someone who has a soft skills. Of course, positive attitude is part of it, and good communication skills, time management, acting as a team player, flexibility and adaptability, self-confidence. Let's begin to look at each of these factors one after the other. Strong work ethic. You may want to ask yourself, am I motivated and dedicated to getting the job? Are you motivated? Are you dedicated to getting the job done? No matter how horrible it may seem. I don't think you want to be the person who always refuses jobs, who always pushes away responsibilities. That may not help. You must be motivated. You must be dedicated. When you wake up in the morning, what do you tell yourself? Before you go to work, what do you tell yourself? You must have this belief that you will succeed in whatever you are doing today, whatever task that is in front of you. You are a student, you are going to class, you tell yourself you're going to succeed. You're going to listen attentively. You're going to have meaningful conversations with your teammates. If you're a business person, you're going to talk with people. You're going to have enriching discussions that will eventually give you the benefit of the day. The second question, will I work hard? Always doing my best? It's a question to ask. If you want to have a strong work ethic, hard work is necessary. You can't shy away from that. We have people like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. Facebook is now Meta. And then you can see that it is as a result of hard work, he was able to do what he's doing now. Facebook is serving billions of people all over the world. So do you have an idea? Have you worked about it? Have you talked to someone about it? Are you diligent enough in your tasks to ensure that you work on it towards completion? That is what strong work ethics is all about. Let's move on to the second point. Positive attitude. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Of course, attitude is very hidden. You can't see it. So if I should picture it, just picture in your mind the iceberg in the middle of the ocean in the temperate region. The iceberg has a small tip outside, and then the huge, whatever carries it, whatever makes that iceberg to stand, is rooted down deep inside the ocean. So what is attitude then? Attitude are those little things that you do every day, your belief, what you value, what you do, that people seldom see. Those are the things that eventually form what? Your habits. And your habits are turned into character. And character becomes the person whom you are. So personal reflection. Am I optimistic and upbeat? Do you go for the goal? Are you a goal getter? Are you optimistic to achieve something? You know, these are things that comes from yourself. It is determination. You have to get determined to be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Do I generate good energy and community with people around me? You can look at yourself. You should be able to relate with people very well. If you are self-aware and you want to relate about other people, it shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. As a scholar, as a career person, you need to talk to the other person because no one is an island of knowledge. It is by interacting with one another that you begin to learn. Knowledge is not fixed. Knowledge is being transferred. It is when you relate with one another, with another person, when you network, when you share your ideas, that you become rich in knowledge. Don't forget, positive attitude is one of the factors for the soft skills success. Another factor is good communication skills. Good communication skills. And you can see there are 4 sub factors. We have thinking, we have listening, we have speaking, we have nonverbal. How well one articulates what they speak or write. You say you just don't want to talk, but you want to ensure that your speech attracts your audience. You want to make sure that your voice carries value, okay? When you stand before someone and you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you articulate it is very, very important. Now, when we talk about communication, like I've said, when you think, it's a communication pattern. When you are conversing or you are in a class listening, there is a thinking process that happens. You think before you respond. Otherwise, you'll be reactive, all right? So you listen, you think about it, then you speak. We have nonverbal communication. These are communications that does not necessarily involve you speaking. It could be gesture, okay? Probably, how do we sit? How do we sit in a conference room? The way I'm seated. When you are having a presentation, how do you conduct yourself? When you are having a talk show, how do you present yourself? All right, let me give you a tip. For example, if you are to appear in a talk show and then you are to probably participate and share your knowledge, as you sit and face the audience, your hands, okay? For females, they keep their hands open and then on their lap, and then their legs are crossed. They cross their legs. For the men, they put their feet together and their hands are also open. They put it this way, gesture. When you approach your principal, when you approach somebody in the office, do you stand up and then lean on the table to address the person? No. Soft skill demands that you approach it in a normal and courteous manner. So you have to be observing all of these things, being good listener, understanding the other person, and the body language I've talked about. You must always come from the place of understanding, and that is where empathy comes in, emotional intelligence. How do you apply that? How do you put yourself into the other person's shoe? You understand to respond. You don't respond because you just have to respond, all right? So those are communication skills that you may want to consider to adopt as soft skills. All right, we move on to time management. Everybody, we know that time is money. Time is money. Yes. So you may want to ask yourself, how well do I prioritize different tasks and projects at one time? All right. John Maxwell will say that you must value your time very well, to the extent that at the end of the day, you spent 5 minutes to reflect on what you have done so that you can perform better the next day. If you do not spend the little 5 or 10 minutes to reflect and plan for the next day, you might return to work, you might return to your job doing the same thing and wasting time over things that probably you could have achieved in just a little moment. So you need to be able to manage your time. And with time management comes multitasking. What do I do first? If you want to manage properly your time, then you have to prioritize. What comes first? What do I do first? You have probably 10 options of things you need to do within the day. And when you look at the time duration, each of them will cost you. Then you need to now prioritize. Let me do this first. What is that thing that you can do and then you have made your day? What is that thing that you will do as a business person that will bring in the cash flow, or that will make your day, that will make you fulfilled for that day? That is the priority. That is what you should focus on. And time remaining, you can focus on other things. So always prioritize. Before you go to class, you prioritize. You have done your work. You know what next to do. If you're at work, you prioritize. If you have a list of to-do works, you place them one after the other so that you are able to achieve maximum within the short period of time that you have. So are you wise about the way you spend your time? That's the question to reflect on. All right. Acting as a team player. All right. I like using group of words because they speak to the mind more. And by saying acting as a team player, we can say collaboration. We can say teamwork. How do you play with team? How do you work with others? Reflection on this could be, how well do I work in groups and teams? Okay. Are you the one that you want to just face your corner and do things by yourself? You may not be able to do much if you do that. All right. This brings to mind this fellow man is late now, one of the leaders in Apple company, Steve Jobs. You know, he's very intelligent. He's very hardworking. But one of the characteristics that could be negative about him is that he wanted to do everything by himself, and he was not able to stay long. So if you love yourself, if you want to stay long, you need what? You need to work with teams. When you, of course, the acronym for team is together, that's T, everyone, E, achieves a more, team. So together, everyone achieves more. So a bit here, a bit there, and the job is done. So why don't you try involving yourself with others? So you must take a preference. How important is this to my career and choice? So you have alternatives. You choose your team, those who can fulfill your goal, those who can make you achieve what you have set before you. All right, we move on. Flexibility and adaptability. Someone who is flexible, someone who is adaptable, someone who can, blend with things. We can accommodate things, right? Open to new ideas, embrace change, adapt to new situations, consider alternatives, willing to learn new things, grow personally and professionally. That's flexibility for you. That's adaptability. You are able to, sit and bring your yourself together. You are able to adapt no matter the condition of work, no matter the target that is given to you. You look at it and you adapt. You adapt yourself. You are flexible enough to be able to go by it. That's flexibility for you. You can go the long route. Human beings scientifically tend to be flexible. We can adapt to any situation according to research. So you look at it from different angles and see which way works for you best. You need to be flexible. And of course, last on my list here, self-confidence. You must exercise self-confidence. Confidence is that trust that you have in yourself. And it also comes from self-awareness. When you know who you are, when you know what you can do, then you have the boldness to express yourself. You have the boldness to say things that you want to say. Trust in your abilities and judgment and network. You must trust in your decision. Don't blame yourself. If at all you happen to not do something too well, that's not a cause to worry. That's not a cause to beat yourself. You can pat yourself and restart because you have the confidence that you will achieve. You're going to make it at the end of the day. Have the courage to ask questions and contribute ideas. Everybody is a learning point in the world, in the space. You being in this presentation, you are having a contact time, you are learning. You are interacting with somebody, you are learning. So have courage to ask questions, have courage to share ideas. This will build your confidence. When you have a notion or you have developed something, you will need 2 or 3 people to confirm it. And when you have that confirmation, the idea becomes solid, the idea becomes firm, and then you can move on in life with such things. Self-belief, believe in yourself, and that is what makes the thing for you. So who is an entrepreneur? Pardon the image. Of course, an entrepreneur is an individual that takes the risks associated with what? Organizing and owning a business, starting a business, organizing a business. Now you have seen that we talked about soft skills. You can now see where entrepreneurship comes in. So these are the requirements that you need to be able to succeed as an entrepreneur, right? So let's look at that as we move on. Let's look at these 2 words, entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship, of course, is the process of starting and running one's own business, which have been said before. This involves a considerable amount of risk. In life, we always take risk. It is something that's almost certain for everyone. Look at a young child that is born. Okay, the parents could do well to teach the child, how to walk, bringing in tools to help him rely on. But at a point, the child has to take a risk to begin to stand up. When she stands up, if she falls down, she stands again. She begins to make a little step, one step after the other. And then one of these days, the child starts walking. And after walking, after some time, when the muscles have developed and growth has taken place, the same child begins to run and begin to exhibit other developmental skills. So that is entrepreneurship for you. If you are able to take risks, if you are able to venture into something that is good anyway, something that is good, something that is pleasant, something that is benefit the society, you take a risk to go into it. Having considered many factors, you go into it, take good risk. That is, you are going into the line of entrepreneurship. Some of the students will be in class, they keep trying one theory or the other, try one thing or the other. Is it coding, whether engineering, technology? You keep trying. Those are steps that will take you higher. Those are things that will make you become more confident to achieve. And of course, an entrepreneur is an individual one that takes the risk. So you can see entrepreneurship is the process of being an entrepreneur. So you begin to now what? Not only organize and own a business, you become to create. We are in a world of creation. It is said that there's nothing new under the sun, but I tell you, you can recreate things that will seem totally new. Years gone by during the first industrial revolution, little as man thought that we could be in such an industrial revolution. We are in the fourth industrial revolution now, going to the fifth industrial revolution. Look at the changes, look at the process that are taking place. These things were taken by risk. Imagination came in, creativity came up, and people took action. So you shouldn't be afraid to take risk. It is a value. It is something that should be, happy to take, happy to do. It will help. So let's look at personal characteristics of successful entrepreneurs. You can see here, you have persistency. That's being persistent. Persistent is that you keep at it until you get the results. You keep at it until you get the results. You don't bother yourself about the trial failures. You keep working at it. Barack Obama says that it is not about the success. It is about how many times you have failed to achieve that success. So persistence is what you keep doing. You keep doing, you keep at it. Creative. You express creativity. Your thoughts are coming up with new ideas, innovative ideas. That's what entrepreneurs do. In whatever cycle you find yourself, whether a student, whether a career person, whether a business person or an artisan, you can be creative about what you're doing. And you know what makes the difference? It is education. It is education that makes the difference. Education makes all the difference. Why? Because when you are educated, you learn better ways of going about things. If you choose the line of entrepreneurship after your education, the way you go about doing your things will be unique and special. Creativity will be there. And you take responsibility. You take responsibility, you take ownership of whatever you do. You're an employee, you take responsibility as if the business is yours, and you keep doing your best. You're an employer, you take responsibility for whatever happened in the organization, and we'll keep moving on. If something has happened, we don't sit down to blame what it has happened. What do we do next? What is the next step to do to move ahead? As an entrepreneur, you must also have an inquisitive mind. Always want to make inquiries, always want to know more about what? More about what you do. Explore other avenues, explore other ideas to do things better. You must also be goal-oriented. You must be goal-oriented. You have a goal. First of all, at this point, you must develop a personal vision statement. Let me share mine with you. My personal vision statement is to be a leader that inspires everyone that I come across to be better than what they thought they could be. That's my vision. I inspire people. I'm a leadership coach. I inspire people. I want people to feel better. I want people to be inspired to do what they never thought they could do. So you have a goal, you have a vision, and you keep at it. That's what we're talking about. You keep your goal, then you break down those goals into objectives. We are running for the year. The year is almost gone now. So you probably must have planned some things for this year. You look at it, have I achieved? Now, next year, 2023 is coming. What is it that you're planning? What are the goals you have set for yourself? How do you break them, achieve them on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis? That's how to go about it. Sometimes you must be independent. And what do you do in the place of independence? What do you do in the place of independence? You reflect, okay? You reflect, you look at what you are doing, you go over what you have done to see how far you are going, how good it is, how perfect it is. You must also be self-confident. Self-confidence, like we said the other time, is that your ability to be able to trust yourself. And of course, you have to be a risk taker. You take risk, and absolutely, you are an entrepreneur because you want to do something new. You want to create something. You sit down and you look around the world. What is a problem that has not been solved yet that needs to be solved? And if you find a passion in it, you start doing it. That is it. We move on. We're looking at skills needed for entrepreneurs. We are looking at skills needed for entrepreneurs. So now you can see some of these skills coming up. You can see that it's more like a revision of what we have said about soft skills. So you can see how soft skills and entrepreneurship are so interrelated. We have talked about communication skills, human relations, how you relate with people. It doesn't matter your temperament. Of course, you should know your temperament, whether you are melancholic, whether you are phlegmatic, or the rest. You must know. When you know your temperament, you know how to better relate with people. You need to also have logical skills. That's the math skill. Howard Gardner tells us in his theory of intelligences that we have about 8 intelligences. So logical skills, which is the math skill, is also very important. You should be able to reason logically and make informed decisions. Problem solving. You should be able to problem solve. Problems are bounds, and that is why there will always be solutions. What keeps us going in life, what keeps you doing what you're doing, is because you're solving problems. Otherwise, I won't do the work I'm doing if I don't get problems solved. I don't just get paid just because I want to get paid. I get paid because I solve problems. So what you should ask yourself is that, what problem am I going to solve today with what I am doing? Putting a smile on the face of people, it's a problem solved. Okay, getting someone to do his job easier by helping is solving a problem, right? Creating something new that will be useful for the society, for the community, is solving a problem. And while you are solving problem, you're making decisions as well. You make decisions, informed decisions. These are soft skills that builds up in you as a result of rigorous technical skills. You can't take that off. You must also have technical skills, especially technology. We are in the age of technology, digital age, and we have the Generation Z that are here. We have so many things to do with technology. Gone are the days where things are done mechanically. I was watching a documentary of a modern way of farming. I think that was in Taiwan. They employed the tool, the machine could, weed out the farmland, and at the same time cultivate and plant. When it is harvest time, another machine comes and harvests the crops, put it in the barn, process it, and comes out. And it is becoming more easier. So you can see that labor is reducing and technology is increasing. So if you are not a technical person, you may not be able to survive the trends of life. So entrepreneurship demands that you must be a technical person. Basic business skills. Oh, business is learned everywhere, even at a tender age, at school. Negotiation skills, that's business skills as well. How you negotiate, how you make someone to buy your ideas, how you convince the other person. Business skills must be developed. These are skills for successful entrepreneurship in this century. Let's move ahead. And we are looking at, this is the third part of the presentation. We are going to look at the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial process. Now that you have learned the soft skills and what they are, now that you have learned what entrepreneurship is all about, and you have seen where soft skill and entrepreneurship, intersect or meet, you should be able to now know what entrepreneurship and the process of entrepreneurship is all about. So we are trying to understand entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial process at the same time. And under this, we have 5 steps to go through. The first one is discovery. When you hear discovery, what do you see? Ideas, innovations, right? Concept development, resourcing, actualization, and harvesting. Let's look at them one after the other. Discovery. This is termed to be as the stage in which the entrepreneur generates ideas, recognizes opportunities, and studies the market. And we are going into a business class now. You need to discover. You have an idea. You need to discover, where is it sellable? Where can it grow? Where can I develop it? You need to discover. You need to conceive that idea, right? You conceive the idea. You recognize the opportunity associated with that idea, and you study the market of the idea to understand and to know whether this idea will thrive. This is applicable to everyone. So you might want to consider the following: hobbies or skills, right? Hobbies are things that you find fun doing, right? Could be playing music. From those hobbies, you could, get a talent, and then you can build on that talent, and that can become something you will do entrepreneurship on. And it could be skills, other skills that you have, as we've mentioned. Customer needs and wants. These are the things you need to also look at. What is scarce or what is in popular demand, and the supply is, not forthcoming as it should be. That's where you want to look at and then try to invest in it. Education as an industry is big. We have a big industry in education. There are so many factors, many facets, many arms of education where you can do entrepreneurship. Speaking at webinars and conferences like this is one of them, because people need it. Some people need to hear this so that they can be motivated, so that they can be encouraged and stand up and do something new. All right. So you must look at the customer needs and wants. You must conduct a survey, maybe by doing a questionnaire. You could ask people around informally. You could do formal questionnaire. As a school, for example, that is ending an academic session, you want to know, how did your student fare? How did the parent feel about the school? So you send out questionnaire for them to feel. As a business person, you send out questionnaire for people to give their views of the market, of how the possibility of that business thriving. And this feedback will help you to decide whether to continue on the track you have chosen or whether to choose another path. You have to, of course, study demographics, the population, density across different settlements, and understand the kind of people live there. For example, if you are an educator, you have served well, and you have also led others, and you intend to establish a school, of course, you need to consider the demographics. The kind of school you want to establish. What is the vision like? Where can it be located? Which type of population will your school serve? Just like we have IIU, International Internship University, is a vision that was born, first of its kind, to serve people globally. A virtual space. A virtual space. You see, that's a big idea. That's a discovery. Let's move to the next step, concept development. And entrepreneurs prepare the following in this step. You develop a business plan, a detailed proposal describing the business idea. You choose the location for your business. We have said all of that. And you ask yourself, is the business online, or does it have a physical location for customers to visit to purchase products, services, or combinations? So you have a choice. The type of business will determine the type of location and the type of space where you need to place it. You need to decide if the idea will need a patent or trademark. So these are options to work on. It is a concept, so you need to develop it. You need to enrich it, just like the flower. You put the flower and then you work on it. The flower, will move, will grow, and then will pop off like this. So that is the concept development. Whatever you conceived and then you begin to work on it, eventually will grow and becomes a big, big idea. So the stage in which, of course, we are talking about resourcing, which is the stage in which the entrepreneur identifies and acquires the financial, human, and capital resources needed for the venture startup. All right. Financial, of course, it involves money. Human, that is labor. Capital resources, it could be money, it could be other things that you need to start up that business. You must consider all of these variables. So as entrepreneurs, you may contemplate on the following: identify potential investors, okay, people that may want to assist or help you in the business. It could be a partnership business, it could be a group business. Apply for loans, grants, and financial assistance. So you have your banks, you can contact your banks, to assist you in the venture that you're going into. This will also help. And of course, if you know that the business you're trying to do will definitely take your time and will be so much full of activities, you need to hire employees. You need to have people. And when you hire employees, you must hire the right person. You must onboard them. You must train them so that they can share the same vision and values with you. The fourth step of entrepreneurship process is actualization. You knew where we started from? All right. So we're on the fourth step now, actualization. The stage in which the entrepreneur operates the business and utilizes resources to achieve its goal and objectives. All right. So you operate your business and you make use of resources available. It could be manpower, it could be tools, it could be other things that you use to achieve your goal. Then as the organization grows, you begin to do what? Develop a culture, begin to develop a system that works for itself. That's how we see big companies like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, before it became a household name, they tried it severally. And eventually, when they got it right, it became a brand. All right. So you can do something. Just have a vision, now sit and work on it. You could be the next company that will stand to Coca-Cola. Why not? You can do that. Entrepreneurs prepare for grand opening of the business. Of course, you create awareness, you bring in people, day-to-day operations of the business, how you plan to operate. Okay, you have your flyers, you have probably your adverts that tells your customers or potential customers when you open and when you close, and the kind of services you do. Even as a student, you can begin to work on this. This is not just for for business people. You can think about a business. In Dubai 2 years ago, there was a boy in year 8, that's the 8th class. He was in year 8, and he developed a cardigan. He developed a cardigan for this school. He designed it on the computer, and it was voted the best. And because he was the one who designed it, once the school sold it, he had a profit. The child had a profit. He was still in school, but he designed something because of the knowledge he had. He decided to put it to use. He started to take risk. He started to actualize his vision and dreams, and it paid off. Number 5, the list here is harvesting. Of course, when you have toiled, when you have worked hard, when you have put resources in place, when you have done all the activities that needs to be done, the next thing you would expect, of course, is harvesting. And that comes in forms of growth. It could be future, it could be now, or it could be in development, right? You harvest. So you may consider the following: your future plans for the business, your expansion to additional location, company to change structure. You want to change the structure, you are choosing a new direction, and then you want to change some things to reflect that new direction. And of course, when you are leading a business for a period of time, and you have so many employees, and there are hierarchies of leadership, you might also need to plan for demise. All right. If you are no more, how will the business grow? There are some organizations that their principal owner have died, but the business still exists. So that is what entrepreneurship coaches you, teaches you to do, to be able to plan your life so that whatever you do, whatever you are put in place, outlives you. And that's the dream of everyone, to live the dream, and people coming after you, continuing that dream, because there's meaning in it, because it impacts life, because it affects life. Imagine a society where people have, wonderful dreams, and people keep taking it, one after the other. The world will be a fantastic place, and we'll just be creative, and we'll be doing our best things. So at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself. You take responsibility. At the end of the day, what you don't know may hurt you or hold you back. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of something. Learn about it. At the end of the day, build on your strengths, target weaknesses, and make sure you overcome them. At the end of the day, develop important soft skills that we have treated so far. At the end of the day, technical competency is the core of your career in engineering, in business life, in career, whatever you choose to do, you need to have a technical competency for that. And that brings me to the end of this enriching seminar and webinar. Thank you. You've got questions? I want to submit to the panel for questions, or if there are questions, I can be told so we can try and treat them. Thank you for having me.